Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce my dear sister, one who has given and brought the miracle drop to the very world. My favorite. Hey, G, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, welcome to CEO. CEO, missing you a little bit. It's been a minute since you came out of office and shared with me uh, the beauty of being an entrepreneur, and you've taken the world by storm. For those women who really want to be a sister with superpowers like you and a CEO, what should they know comes with it that they don't anticipate when they say they want to start a business?
Um, I think because we're in the world of social media, a lot of people think that things come fast. I think people have the misconception that things come easy and that once you get to a certain point, everything is, kind of like smooth sailing. And that is far from true. There will always be some adversities. There will always be some pain in the process. I mean, obviously, there's glory with any, with success, but the other side of it is that there is, the things that come with it, like responsibility, taking care of people around you, making sure to give back, and negativity. So, but it's all I feel like it's all personally worth it. You just have to be strong and deeply seated in faith.
When you first started your kaleidoscope, how'd you pick
Mhm.
the name? It's a gorgeous name. How'd you pick it?
Well, I love colors. I am a person that has always been a fan of colors. When I was a full-time hairstylist, I used to try to put colors in all my clients' hair. So, a kaleidoscope is a toy that you put to your eye, and when you turn it, it changes shapes and colors. So I just try to get a name that would, just kind of embody colors. Now, it was tricky though, because it is kind of hard to spell. So I battled with naming it that for a while because I said, well, what if people don't know how to spell it? And I said, well, I guess they're just gonna have to learn.
Experience as a teacher. You were hairstylist, entrepreneur first, and what did the experience of touching the client's hair, knowing their needs, give you insight into so that you could create Kaleidoscope?
One of my clients actually cheated on me. That's kind of what we call it. And she went to a different hairstylist. And when she came back to me, she had got a ponytail. And when she came back to me, she then had a very small bald spot in the middle of her head because the person used bobby pins and it caused scarring to her scalp. So that experience from being behind a chair made me feel like I wanted to be able to solve that problem because I wanted to be able to in-house take care of my customers. So from there, I kind of explored the option of different hair products. The first thing that we did come out with though was edge control, but the miracle drops, which are our number one seller, they were not even, we came out with four things and the miracle drops was the last thing. So it wasn't even, in my mind, it wasn't even a thing that was gonna be the thing, but it wound up being the thing.
So, what does that say to other young CEOs who are there about continuing to move? Because product diversification, you said, was the last thing. But why'd you have the courage to continue to move forward with your dream?
Uh, Honestly, I think for me in my personal life and my personal struggles, I've learned to embrace adversity versus run away from it and be scared of it. I've learned to take what's supposed to be something painful or something that might be considered a trial and try to figure out what's the lesson that God wants me to have from it and see that whatever this lesson is at this level is supposed to teach me something so that when I get to a different level, I don't experience it again. So anytime that I've had adversity, at a very young age, because I've had children at a young age, got put out the house at a young age, I learned that I had to figure it out. Like when I got put out at 17, I learned that, okay, so do you fold or what do you do? Like you still have to, you got to figure it out. So, and not that you out, where do you go? So it was me, I had a child. It was like, where are you going to go? What you going to do? So it was a thing that I had to like, and my mom was the one that did it. And at the time I really didn't understand it. And I could kind of say, I felt like I hated her for it, but it kind of made me exactly who I am today. Cause it made me have to fall, instead of fall face down, I fell, but I fell and landed on my 2 feet. And I had to figure out very fast, very young, how to make things work. How to make do with what you have, or how to try to figure out, you know, some grown up things. So
So you figure out the win, but what was your conversation like, and what are your conversations like spiritually as a CEO with God when you're there? Is that somebody you tap into? Is that something that is a part of your life? I heard you say it, but why should a CEO have a relationship with God?
I don't think you can actually. I don't think that you can be your fullest potential without God. Like I know that for a fact. I know that one, I didn't see this for my life at all. I didn't see this for my life. I didn't. This wasn't my plan. I mean, my plan, I still would be behind a chair doing hair. So I know that faith and believing that there is a higher calling for your life, and that there's more, and that tomorrow is going to be a better day, will always leave you in a positive mind state versus just staying in the woe is me, or staying in the problem that I have today. Like, if you focus on your tomorrow and you go by the word, and you know that it's greater later, and that when you go through trials, it's only a lesson to get somewhere. It'll just make you more. It'll make you more energetic to get out and try again. It'll make you more um, excited about, hey, life must have a better situation for me when the door is closed. You won't be as beat up all the time. I feel like social media has so many different people telling you this is wrong, that isn't right, oh, you're not this, oh, you're not that, that you need a higher power and a higher calling anyway to kind of feed your soul, because it's so much negativity, being spewed every day from all different angles.
Moving there, setting goals. For many, they don't know. And when I first met you, you was a numbers lady. When I talked to you off camera, you were a numbers lady. And that's what I've always loved about you. You could tell me the percentage of growth based on advertising on national television. And what I don't want people to do ever, and that's why I wanted to reach out to you, because I love you. You're my sister. Always real when we're together. Um, why are numbers and setting goals and really being honest about your business so important to you and for other entrepreneurs striving? Why are those numbers what they need to focus on?
It was a practice that I had since I was younger. I didn't like math, was my favorite subject, and I didn't even realize, it just is a thing. I find that when I was a hairstylist, I used to write down my daily numbers, and as a entrepreneur, oftentimes we just make money so fast. You look back and you don't even realize how much you made. And then you don't know year over year if you're actually increasing or not. So you don't know how to plan to increase. You don't know how to plan if you have a slow season every year. Because as a hairstylist, we had a slow season in the summertime every year. So if you don't have these numbers set out, and you don't have these goals set up, then how do you know to grow? How do you have intentional efforts of growing, or intentional efforts of being better, or intentional efforts on, hey, the business seems to be slower? How do you know if you honestly don't write it down? Because you could feel like, oh man, this week feel like I did better, but I'm not sure. But when you take your numbers and you pay attention to your business, and you take your business seriously like that, you actually have a footprint. You have a footprint of where you started, of how you're growing. You can actually predict some behaviors in the business, And then you could try to do different things year over year. Like when I was a hairstylist, I used to, when the summertime would be slow, I would either take my vacation when it was slow, or I would offer different services so it wouldn't be slow. But it's just different things that you can do. The same way if you have an e-commerce business and you want Shopify or something, or if when you talk about taking your business to a bank and you need a loan or something, how do you tell the people, oh, I make money, if you don't know? You don't know. Everybody wants, like, everybody sells stuff, or everybody is in the servicing industry, everybody's doing this. But people don't take people serious unless they have like the paperwork to, to back it. So I feel like I'm fussing.
I don't think that it's a fuss. I think that the way we all communicate, they say that you fussing, I'm preaching. I'm like, but there's some
Mhm.
truth in all this. It is, I was talking to a company we were thinking about acquiring, and I was sharing with the sister. I said, you raised a lot of money, but you don't even have that money in the bank no more. Like it's a big business principle you missing. Like that money didn't make you no money. Like you
Mhm.
would be shot if you went to the dope man with that. That he gave you something is worth this, and you came back and you short. And I think we short ourselves all the time, saying this money gonna solve me. As an entrepreneur, you have chosen to look at your numbers and be responsible for the change, the investment. How do you decide? Because I've seen you, how you're going to measure your investments in the marketing and the movements that you make as a CEO, boss.
I can tell you this. I'm a risk taker, so I don't mind betting it all. But I will say this: if I am going to bet it all, it's going to be on something that I've probably tried before. It's not going to be me taking my last, and it's going to be on, like, if it's going to be a campaign, it's going to be on a campaign that I've either done at a smaller magnitude, and so I know how to scale this thing, or it's going to be more so something that is, I'm not going to say guaranteed, but not as risky. So I find that in business, even though I'm a risk taker, I will, in the beginning, when I first started doing the stuff on social and I was promoting and doing all of these off the wall great videos and stuff like that, we didn't have a big budget. We were filming from phones and hiring videographers that weren't really videographers, and and even when I didn't have a budget then, I still was able to gauge the things that performed well. So what I do is I put my money behind the stuff that has in my history performed well, and just try to streamline the process. And as social changes, I try to get in front of that. Like when I first started on social, it was 15 seconds. Then it went from 15 seconds to they gave us like a minute. Then it went from a minute to gave us 10 minutes. Then the people's attention span went from 10 minutes down back to 15 seconds. So it's, instead of me paying a videographer to shoot me a 3-minute video now, knowing that the consumer is digesting content differently, I now have to adjust that thing back into the 15 seconds and just stay in front of the trends, pay attention to what's happening, and understand, because I think oftentimes CEOs mess up where they try to make the consumer want what they want, and versus what the consumer really wants. Because we were doing some package changing, and I wanted this certain package. I thought it was cute, it was clean, it was this. We can go into this. But then I said, let me do a test with my consumers, with my VIP consumers, and let them vote. They voted 97-3. My choice was the 3. So I have to give them what they wanted, because even though I know what I wanted for the packaging or whatever, they the ones that's buying it. And even though I'm the CEO and I have the final decision, I'm not gonna make that decision based off of my personal wants versus what's gonna sell. Uh-oh, I think we're stuck. You can, I'm here
Yeah,
now.
I'm here.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
it was stuck for a second.
yeah, big stuff. I call that test and learn.
Mhm.
When actually, I love that. You're always testing and learning, Judy.
Yeah.
And you do sampling, and I think that that's called research. And I don't
Mhm.
want people not to hear you sharing that I do market research.
Mhm.
And so it's not a fussing, but it is saying to our community, don't waste your money. Like test and learn,
Mhm.
grow big, not be big just because you got it for that moment, because you and I both know it's easier to spend than it is to earn.
Mhm.
So and save a little bit. Why should you save a little bit of your money and invest a little bit of your money?
Um, well, I think I think we were like we were speaking earlier in our culture. Everybody wants to work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard, because that's all we know. That's all we talk. Make sure to work hard, work hard, work hard. But now I feel like we finally learning to work smarter. Like instead of, you don't have to physically have to work hard. You can, your money. We have a lot of people that I have a couple of pieces of real estate. You have people that have real estate. You have people that are taking and acquiring businesses. You have people that are taking their money and letting their money just simply do things, even down to Airbnbs, all kind of different things that people are putting their hands on, but they don't have to physically be as present. They don't have to be away from their family. So when you do make money, it's good to either save the money, and I'm not saying saving and just sit it there, but have the money and do something with it that can buy you free time. That to where your money still is making money, but you actually have time. Because it makes no sense for you to work until you 85, really working hard, 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 and then you got $800 million in the bank and got a year to live. You got what you gonna do? You done made all the money, but not what you still have to. You kind of gotta, still have some of your time. Enjoy your time. Like make different opportunities for other people.
If you were talking to your 17-year-old self, when you had just walked out that door, um, what would you tell her now that she couldn't hear when she was 17?
Um, I would probably say you could go ahead and have your little fun if you want. You can go ahead and have your little fun, but it ain't gonna be worth it. So I would probably say something like that. Because I don't regret no part of my journey. So I feel like all parts of my journey make me appreciate life differently. Like I can appreciate how to raise my children now because of how I was raised. I can appreciate not having, I mean, I can appreciate having from not having. I can appreciate not having somewhere to lay my head. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Um, and now I fully appreciate having somewhere to lay my head. So I think without that, because we were without that, I would have never experienced, homelessness, and because it was, for lack of a better word, that's what it was. So I never would experience it.
So here we are close to Hollywood, and if some actress was going to play you in a movie starring you,
Oh my goodness.
um, and you're going to do 17, and then you're going to have somebody who was a Kaleidoscope CEO, who would you have play you at this moment? Um, what actress?
Oh wow. I think I like Niecy. I like Niecy Nash because she's my friend, and I think she's a great actress too. I think she'll give layers of emotion. So yeah, I
I like
like her.
that. I like it too. Um, for all those individuals, if you were thinking about the soundtrack of your life, um, what singer kind of touches your heart and has been riding with you along this way as kind of like and even if it's a couple, just soundtracks of your life that you've always thought touched you and you enjoyed them along your journey so far?
Oh, I'm an R&B head. That and gospel. Like I really like Tasha Cobb. Um,
Mm,
if it had to be the soundtrack of my life, oh, I think I probably would lean into gospel. Yeah, I
mm,
think I would lean into gospel because outside of that, I'm just an R&B lover. Like I'm a music lover. So
yeah. Yeah. Well, I miss you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to take her all day. I could talk to her all day. She is truly one of my favorites. Miracle Drops, try it. Definitely support Kaleidoscope. Just want to thank you for being on CEO to CEO. Um, I've said I miss you 1,000 times. So until Brad, I said, what's up? Um, Always a part of the Rolling Out family. But if nothing else, I want people to understand you are a real CEO. You really touch this community. You make me proud, and wish you all the best. Lots of love. Ladies and gentlemen,
mhm.
we call her Judy, but Kaleidoscope CEO to CEO here on Rolling Out. Judy, we love you. This is Munson Steed and Judy doing our best to let you know how to grow your business, grow your life, and that there's a miracle drop inside of you.
Oh, thank you.